to assist.
Yeah.
So you just let me know what you need from me or what you want me to do.
So let's go ahead and get started. I thank you guys for your patience. And this is part of that whole process of being fluid and flexible, And so as much as I value time integrity, you know what I mean? I did not get flustered. I know Keisha was probably over there praying for me, but I'm actually doing.
I was sitting here praying too for myself because I'm like, I know she's thinking like she's gotta be done up weird. Like you see, the Golden Family was like, no, we got time.
No, I definitely appreciate it. So thank you guys for just holding the line and So one of the things that happened on one of Shaycia's live is that I know that she's always encouraging to really begin to think in a way that you guys are building community. And so one of the things that I just wanted to bring to this space is this concept of reaching your tribe. And so I recognize that there's probably two different categories here. There's those of us who may be on TikTok and your whole goal is to grow a business, to monetize, to do all the things. And so that is great. I want to make sure that there is no hierarchy, okay? Because God has called some people to be some entrepreneurs, and that is your job, is to coach and build and that kind of thing. And then there's others who are also on this app who are going to be wanting to monetize, grow, and that kind of thing, but you feel the pull of a community or a tribe. And it's a little bit more than just, just points and lives and shoppables and things like that. There is something in you that you are carrying that you absolutely want to build a community or a tribe around. And so that is really the focus of this live, is for those who feel like you are carrying something, that you have a message, and that there are people or a tribe that's attached to your message. All right. So I do believe that there's going to be something for everyone in this space, but I just want to thank Shaycia just for giving me just space and just access to the Golden Fam to be able to share this with you guys, because this is, this is the hill that God has called me to live on and to die on. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so before we get into the R.E.A.C.H framework, I do want to just lay groundwork. Anytime you're in a space with a teacher, they're trying to, let's get clear on the terms. Let's get clear on what we're talking about and what we're building. And if we don't get through it all at this point, I've already committed to Shaycia to do a part 2, because I recognize that this can be quite a bit, and I want us to get it. Okay. So we talk about calling all the time and what is your why. And you guys have heard me say on this platform before we can talk about your why, it's your who. First of all, whose you are. So when you realize that you came from him and through your parents, that changes everything. Because a lot of times we're like, you know what, my lot in life, like my parents are special, my uncle is crazy and all those kind of things. But God knew exactly what DNA mix that he needed to bring you into the earth. So when you realize that he knit you together before you were in your mother's womb, we can remove all discussions around you being an accident, not being planned, whatever the case was, because you were a God idea. And so that has to be resolved, that he knew you before you were in your mother's womb. He said he knit you together in your mother's womb. So I don't know how much more intentional you can get than knowing that you are here on purpose, for a purpose, and with purpose. And so, when we talk about your purpose or the message that you carry, it always begins with a stirring, not a strategy, not a plan, not a niche, not anything, but there's something that begins to bubble up on the inside of you. And for many of us who are parents, we knew that something changed. When we were impregnated, stuff started happening with your ankles, just bloating, just different stuff started happening. Like, hey, energy, iron deficient, whatever the case is, because that something is beginning to, that you're beginning to host something. You're beginning to host a life, and that thing is beginning to pull on you, and you can't quite shake it. Okay, so it starts with the stirring, and that's the beautiful thing. A purpose cannot be manufactured. Again, if he knit you together in your mother's womb, you came here already impregnated with the purpose that he's given you. And so our job is more so to discover it, not to manufacture it. So I don't care how many times we get inspired. We listen to these dynamic speakers and these dynamic webinars like, ooh, I want to do that. Okay, but you got to be careful, because if you're not designed to carry that, the thing that's a gift to them will become a curse to you. And that's why I say, really tread lightly.
That was good.
We talked last night about people wanting your spot, but the thing is, you are graced to manage the spot that you are occupying. No one else can carry what you carry, and vice versa, nor should you want to. So when you get to the moment where you're like, hey, I know there's something more than the life that I'm currently living. I know that my life has something that it is trying to speak. My story matters in ways that I haven't even began to name yet. That is the beginning of the stirring. And again, this should be freeing because you're not like going to a bookstore like, oh, let me choose a purpose, choose a thing. No, it's what's already chosen you. It's already chosen you. And that's the beautiful thing about a calling is that it keeps calling. Now, we may choose to put it, hang up, I'm not answering right now. I don't feel like it this decade, but it's going to keep coming for you. So I'm asking you, what is the thing that keeps coming for you? This is God's invitation to say, you know what? The assignment that I've given you is beginning to rise up, and we can only push that thing down so long. It's like whack-a-mole. We push it down over here and it shows up over there. We try to run, and next thing you know, we're in a conversation and someone is coming to us for what we hold, and we're just like, how did I get back here? I'm always talking about this with people. I'm always helping people with this, because you can't deny the calling, the assignment, the purpose that God has placed inside of you. So we talk about, I'll make room for conversation, so y'all let me know. So the first thing.
If you guys have any questions or comments, keep the chat chatting, because y'all know we need to keep it chatting. Keep tapping, keep sharing. Make sure everybody that is in here, make sure you've given the daily heart. Make sure we're blessed Drika, because right now she's giving us free 99, which she usually charges for this. So let's show her the Golden Fam way. All right.
Ooh, I like that, the Golden Fam way. That probably needs to be a manifesto and a credo as well.
Ooh, let's go.
So yes.
Well, I'm gonna forget.
So we talk about the stirring, and I like to use. I'm big on metaphors, you guys. So I'm going to kind of use that pregnancy metaphor. You are carrying something. Even if you don't have words for it yet, you are carrying something. And that's the awareness, and that's what God is trying to awaken us to. And again, it's so beautiful because we don't have to manufacture it. We just have to awaken to it. So the second thing is, what is the burden you cannot ignore? We know that we're going to carry burdens anyway. So like, if I'm going to carry a weight, at least I want it to be the weight of his glory. Because what I'm designed to carry, there's an anointing for. Now, when we're carrying all this other stuff, and we're just like, Lord, I'm just tired. I'm always tired. I'm doing this for everybody. I keep having to do this, and I keep having to do that. God didn't tell you to take in those 12 relatives. They were meant to go to a business boot camp so they could learn how to feed themselves. But you keep giving them fish, so there's no reason for them to learn how to fish. So sometimes we have to go back and take inventory.
That was good.
We have to take inventory of the things that we're carrying, because we're crying out to God, and he's like, I never gave that to you. Because he says, my burden is easy and my yoke is light. So yes, we have to carry something, but if it's unnecessarily difficult, then we need to ask ourselves, did I assign myself this, or did God give me this? Because
that right there, man, yes, that right there is key. You guys, I'm sorry, that there is so key.
Yes, because there are things that we feel like, oh, it's just a good Christian thing to do. Just, give everybody a shirt off my back. But he didn't tell you just to walk around naked. You know what I'm saying? He's got options. But when we feel like we have to be the savior, then now we start getting in his way, because he's trying to show them his provision. But you keep getting in the way as a mini savior, and they don't get a chance to experience sometimes the difficult challenges that they have to experience. But it's sometimes when we go through, and we learn this even in the butterfly season, when we go through that cocoon process and we have to stretch our wings, there's something about us having to come out of the shell or come out of the cocoon that strengthens. And when we try to help people prematurely, they can't even fly right. So now they're looking at you because they've imprinted on you. They've locked in on you because you're always the helper, and they don't even know that their wings work. And so I encourage us to say, she's like, look.
Gosh, so many freaking gems. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I get excited, but this is so good, y'all. The chat's loving it too. Marcia's like, say that again. Like, yes, that's the truth. Like,
yeah.
Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah.
Go. Sorry.
So what is the burden you cannot ignore? It may show up as a frustration you can't shake. A pattern you keep noticing in conversations. People always seem to come to you for this encouragement, this wisdom, this advice. So what is the patterns that you keep noticing? A question people keep asking you. A theme God keeps bringing you back to. You used to be in elementary school and everyone was asking you for ideas about what to play at recess, and now they're still asking you for ideas about how to do this and how to do that. The seed was already there. It's now just in its more mature form. A compassion that rises uninvited. There's things you're like, I wish I can turn off. I wish I didn't care about this so much. But that thing just keeps bubbling up, and doggone it, you care. You care. Pay attention to that. Or it's a truth that won't leave you alone. So many times we don't like discontent. We don't like frustration. But when there's a divine frustration and a divine discontent, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that, because it's coming up for a reason. And the burden that God has given you is not meant to crush you. It's a signal that's meant to point you to your true north and what you were really designed for. And that's why I'm really big on taking inventory. If we would honestly sit down and look at our lives and see those plot points, there's themes that run all the way through it. What are those themes? You may feel it before you can ever articulate it. But the thing is, those emotions, those feelings, those things, they keep coming up. We have to become curious and become a student of ourselves, of our lives, of everything that's kind of happening, because God he's pointing us somewhere. But are our eyes open to see where it is that he's pointing us? And so the next point that we want to make before we start talking about reaching tribes and all of that good stuff, identity before strategy. Identity before strategy. What do I mean by that? Everything around us is screaming, build the thing, build a brand, launch the thing, post content 26 times a day, scale your platform. Okay, but we have to ask ourselves, what are we building? Are we building because that's what the pressure machine has told us that we need to build? Because to be honest, look, we're tired of, barely surviving, you know what I mean? So we're like, look, what do I have to do? Do I need to sell ice cream? Do I need to make merch? Like, I'll do what I need to do. And so that we have to understand that thing is there. And we have to interrogate that as well. So spiritual assignments don't begin with activity. Again, they begin with identity. Who you are comes before what you build. So if you skip the identity work, you always tell you guys, do not skip the identity work. Because if you skip the identity work, you're going to build from insecurity. You're going to speak from pressure.
Yeah, skip the identity work, or you're building from
insecurity.
Insecure.
You're speaking from pressure. You're performing.
Ooh, speaking from pressure.
You're performing instead of becoming your message.
Hold on, Trika. I don't know. It seems like it's hard to hear you now.
Hold on, let me see.
Are you guys hearing good, or is it me? Just me?
How's it now? My volume is all the way up. We're good?
Yeah, it just sound like a little bit of static, but it's the real talk from insecurity. Yeah, that's real. I know. Okay.
Hold on, let me see. I think my microphone.
Maybe it might be your mic.
You know what? Let's just take it off.
Yeah, I think it was your mic. I think that's what it was.
All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. So much better.
Boy, I tell you. Boy, I'm telling you.
That is so...
That's how you know when something is your message. You're willing to go through all kind of shenanigans to make sure that it still goes forth. All right, so here we go.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, my goodness, yes.
All right. So again, we speak from pressure. We perform instead of embodying the message. We chase instead of attract. When you realize that who God has called to you and your signature sound, even if they don't like your voice right now, even if they're running from you, there's something that's going to keep bringing them back because they need what you hold. So we don't want to chase. We want to attract. And we don't want to dilute our message trying to be agreeable to everyone. So sometimes we have to say difficult things. And again, if they're your people, they're going to be here for it. When the disciples came to Jesus after he talked about drinking his blood and eating his body and talking about communion, they were like, people could not handle it. People left him. And Jesus told the other disciples, will you leave me too? And their response was, where will we go? Only you heard the words of life. So even when you say hard things, your tribe will still be tracking with you. Because where else are they going to go if God has given them solutions through you? So when you clarify your identity, the real you, your message becomes steady. Your voice becomes recognizable. And your tribe, your true tribe, begins to find you. So identity is not optional. Because again, you can speak in somebody else's voice and guess who you're going to draw? All the people who are connected to that false voice. And then you're going to wonder why you're pulling your hair out and you're going crazy because you got all these crazy people that wasn't supposed to be with you in the first place. So I'd rather have the chosen few and expand from there instead of having vanity metrics. Oh, I had 1,000 people. But again, you got to block your thing. Make sure your number's not public. I mean, you're nervous. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who's going to show up in your inbox. That's not the way this should be. So again, your identity is the foundation on which all of your other clarity will rest. Without identity, everything you build becomes unstable. And with identity, everything you build becomes sustainable. You're going to enjoy it because you built this from a true place and not from a striving place or a people-pleasing place. So we talk about the posture of a messenger. So I know that I use that word a lot. It does not mean that you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you know all the steps or that you feel even fully confident, but you know that you're here for it. You're here to grow through it, become it. You can't shake it. So a messenger is someone who has lived something. You have seen something. You carry something, and now you feel a responsibility to share it. You cannot not. Your purpose is something you cannot not do. Even when people get on your nerves, I cannot not talk about identity and purpose and ecosystems and reaching your tribe. So I want us to understand that it's not about being perfect, but it is about being assigned. So this is why you feel the tension. You feel the tension and you can't stay comfortable because purpose is pulling you, is calling you. And guys, we gotta yield to that. And so I know that we want to build community. I know that we want to do all these things, but if we don't start with who we are, who God has called us to be, we're going to be, it's kind of like putting a new door on a shack house. You know what I mean? Like we got some new stuff over here, but it's still on this other situation. And then too, you won't allow people to rush you or force you into something that you know is not a fit for you. And even when you're like, man, it looks like they're really excelling, like they really just, got all the this and that or whatever, but it's almost like, Lord, my time is coming. My due season is coming. And I'm not at all advocating that we don't put in the work, put in the reps. I'm not saying that at all. But at least if we're putting in the reps and the work, it's toward what we know God has placed inside of us to do. And so I just want to encourage us that tension is normal. Struggle is normal. But at least if it's going to be struggle, let it be because we're coming out of our cocoon, not because we're struggling to morph into something that we were never designed to be in the first place. Okay? So I want us to know that what we're carrying is not, again, it's not random. It's meant to awaken us to our assignment and the hardships you lived, everything that you have lived through, been a part of, impacted by, that now becomes a part of your tribe framework, your tribe reach framework, because you can only lead people where you've been. And more than likely, we are called to a previous version of ourselves. Because you have some keys. Jesus said that he endured the cross for the joy that was set before him, that he would bring many sons to glory, that we would look like him. So the people that you are called to reach, there's some keys that you have because of what you've been through. And that is what you're going to bring to them. Because yes, they may have to still go through some things, but we can shorten the learning curve a little bit. All the stuff that Shawana is learning from how to do an agency and how to start from scratch on TikTok, we still have to do the steps, but it should be a little bit quicker because she's given us the game. So if we would be students, then we would, then our learning curve would be shortened.
So good.
All right. So when we talk, go ahead. Yes. And so when we talk about your tribe being connected to your identity, because your identity answers, who am I? Your tribe says, who needs what God placed in me? So your tribe is saying, I need what God has placed in you. So before you even know who they are, you already sense what they need because it's what you needed.
Yes. That right there. Yes, that.
You already recognize their pain because you've already lived their pain. You recognize their story because their story is in your story. So you're going to attract them by being true to what God has brought you through and the truths and the revelations that he's extracted as a result of that. So the clearer you are, the closer your tribe can come. So don't be frustrated if you don't see all the people yet, because the thing is, if you have on a mask or if you're being a pseudo self, God is not going to entrust you with the people who are meant to experience the authentic you. So you're going to be getting just a mixed bag of, like, I don't like.
Mask off. Take the mask off.
You're going to be dealing with a mixed bag of folks until you are true to who you are, because then those folks will be drawn to the authentic you. So again, the first step is not building, it's naming. Before you build a brand, a course, a community, a digital home, a strategy, or an ecosystem, begin by naming what's stirring on the inside of you. What have you lived? And that's what's so beautiful about, the Latars and the Z-Shawties and the different people who are saying, let's come in here and let's process our stories a little bit. Because again, if we're not moving towards healing, then we're going to bring our unhealed selves to our tribe in a way that it wasn't designed for them to carry. So we have to, that's why we need different messengers. There's no one who is an expert or who has it all in every area. But the area that you have, the dish that you do have, please bring it to the potluck. I told you I love metaphors. So this is what I bring to the potluck. I'm always going to point us back to, who are you really? What are you called to really? Who is your tribe really? And that is the thing that I can't shake. I cannot shake it. So when you name things, you bring alignment. Alignment brings clarity. Clarity brings peace. And from that place, not pressure, you move into what I call the R.E.A.C.H framework. Now, I'm going to ask Shacia, just given the time and the late start or whatever, like, do you want me just to go over the acronym and what each part entails?
No, we are good. Okay. Don't worry about the time. If you got to go, then that's your time. But we ain't got nothing to do. What I ain't got nothing to do is we can stay on here until you have to go.
Sounds good.
I ain't got to do nothing until 2 o'clock. So no, we are not pushed for time.
All right. So let's just go over the R.E.A.C.H framework, and then we'll dig into each letter. And again, if it feels like we need to just kind of stop and pause and have conversation, we'll do that, because I do know that this can be a lot and we do need time to process. All right. So the Tribe R.E.A.C.H framework is going to help us move from clarity to construction, because again, we do want to build, but we want to build on that solid foundation. So when we talk about the R.E.A.C.H framework, the R is the real you, and we just talked about that. Start by getting clear on who you are, how God has wired you, your values, your strengths, your message. Your ecosystem must reflect your authentic identity, not an imitation of someone else's brand voice or another model or template. So ask yourself, does what I'm building sound, look, and feel like the real me? What am I known for or to be known for? What do people naturally come to me for? So there should be something that people associate with you. Right now, anytime we hear the Golden Fam, like, we know that, hey, Shacia, we hear Thrive Tribe, we know Z-Shawty. You know what I'm saying? I hear Color Your Soul, I know Latar. And I know that it's more nuanced to that, but there should be something that people, when they think of your name, that they associate you with. You get to determine what that is. The E stands for established experience. You're not just offering services, you're creating an experience. Every interaction, product, or program should connect to a larger story that helps your tribe grow. So ask yourself, what transformation or outcome am I guiding them toward? Again, if everything is a product or a service and we don't know like the bigger picture, we're being sold to all day, every day. But what we're really trying to solve are these pain points. We're trying to become who God has designed us to be, and we need messengers along the way to help us become. And so what experience are you creating to help them become more aligned with who God has called them to be? The A is for aligned audience. Tribe. Clarify who you're called to reach, your ideal tribe member. Understand their needs, language, and transformation goals so your offer connects deeply. So we just talked about God not jumping over you to try to reach them, but this is a dance that we're doing now. He cares about you, and he also cares about them. If we can't see them, we cannot reach them. If everything is about building my empire, my platform, my thing, and people can sense that, they can smell that a mile away.
Exactly.
But how are you helping them with the transformation that they need? So ask yourself for this question, or this for the aligned audience or your tribe. Who am I truly sent to serve in this season? What season of life are they in, and what do they need most right now? So you may have 16 things that you want to offer, but we know that, they always say, like, how do you eat an elephant? Like, one bite at a time. People can't handle your 16 steps of your transformation process all at once. It's too much. So remember when you were in kindergarten, how you needed your teacher to like hand hold you every step of the way. We have to remember what it was like when we were at the beginning of the journey. Because they're not ready for the whole thing. So someone comes onto TikTok and we're just like, yeah, do this and push that and send this and share that. They're just like, where's the share button? So we have to remember how vulnerable we felt when we first started the journey, because that is what they are feeling precisely, and walking them through it with grace. And then we have the C, the cohesive channels. So identify the key communication and connection points, i.e. your website, app, email, social media, that creates a seamless experience for your tribe. What kind of content will connect with your and serve your tribe well? So again, you may be like, you know what, I don't really want to do all that, you know what I mean? But you may need TikTok and a podcast. You may need TikTok and an app, because there's conversations that you need to have that you don't need people listening into and spying on from the For You page. So what channels do you need to bring your tribe close? Again, when you're in the marketplace or in the outer courts, hey, everybody can listen and chime in and do all the things. But when it's now time for them to come into the inner court and some of those deeper conversations to happen, where are those conversations taking place? Okay, so ask, are my tribe's touch points connected and cohesive, or are they confusing and fragmented? So one of the reasons you guys see Shaycia has an app is because she wanted to have a central hub to store all of her things. So she doesn't have to say, hey, go look at my YouTube over here, go check out my bracelets over there, go do this over here. And everything is under one roof. So for anyone who wants to experience the comprehensive experience, they can go to that place. And so also, if TikTok goes away, if they have a glitch or decide to give strikes or whatever, you're not, you can still access your people. So you want to have, and that brings us to our last one, a home base or a hub for your tribe. Where will all of your stuff live? Every message needs a home. Your digital headquarters where people can find, follow, and engage with your work. Again, can your people find you if there's any blip in the matrix? If, like I said, if TikTok has a down day, if Facebook is offline, like where is home? Where is home? So ask, how can I build a home that nurtures connection, clarity, and transformation over time? And again, we don't want to jump straight to home and house and all that stuff or whatever. Like right now, it's like, no, I need to just be consistent, say showing up on TikTok. Just building the relationship, letting people get familiar with my sound and my voice and the transformation that I offer. Because again, if this is your purpose, you're in this for the long game. It's not about the quick fix. You're going to be talking about this anyway until the Lord brings you home. So we're not in a rush to, before 2026, I need to, hold up. There's a reason that people go through dating and courtship and engagement and then marriage. You don't just meet someone and be like, hey, want to get married? Come on over to the house. No, that's kind of weird. There are stages to this. And so that is the R.E.A.C.H framework. And I think I am going to pause here today. Like I said, and I have breakout points for each of the letters and things of that nature. And I'm willing to bring that next week if we want to come back for more. But I just feel like I need us to camp a little bit with, do you feel like you are clear about who you are and your story and the pieces that God wants to bring forward? And so, Shaycia, if there's anybody who wants to come up and have a conversation about just even what we've covered thus far, this would be a great time to do that.
Yes, okay. Yes, you guys heard. Anybody want to come up, send me an invite, and I'll bring you on up. If you have questions in the comments, you can go ahead and so anybody want to come up? Yep.